Back in '64, the airwaves were pure magic, but some voices only soared once, then vanished. Let's rewind to the velvet echoes of 12 R&B wonders you almost forgot. Number 12, That's When the Tears Start by The Blossoms. You might not remember the name, but you'll never forget that voice. That's When the Tears Start hit in early '64 like a silent sob on a Sunday morning. The Blossoms, a fierce girl group with Darlene Love front and center, served harmonies that could both soothe and sting.
That's when the tears start, and I'll start crying.
The track had it all: painful lyrics, echoing backup vocals, and a beat that made your shoulders sway no matter how heartbroken you felt. In a year full of chart-topping giants, The Blossoms gave us a short but searing moment of soul. They never cracked the top 40 again, but for those few months, they were everything. You felt their ache, their longing, and maybe your own too. Their moment came and went, but it left behind a smoky trail of what could have been. And that first trembling line still sends chills. Next up, a haunting piano riff and a voice that could only come from a Sunday church. Number 11, I'm Your Bread Maker Baby by Slim Harpo. Wait, Slim Harpo in an R&B countdown? Yes, and let me tell you why. While he's known for bluesy swamp tunes, 1964 saw him drop this saucy rhythm-laced gem that briefly dipped its toe into the R&B charts. I'm Your Bread Maker Baby was cheeky, infectious, and downright dirty.
Well, I'm your bread maker, baby, and you can roll.
Wrapped in a groove that made you want to grab your dance partner just a little closer. It was playful, flirtatious, and completely out of step with the more polished Motown sound of the time. But maybe that's why it stood out, until it didn't. Radio stations didn't quite know what to do with it. Some thought it was too blues, others thought it was too suggestive, and so it disappeared. But if you ever stumbled across it on a dusty jukebox in a southern diner, you already know. You felt something, a grin, a sway, a memory. Coming up, a teenage crooner with a falsetto that could melt glass. Number 10, Talking About My Baby by The Lollipops. Don't let the name fool you. The Lollipops weren't bubblegum. They were heartbreak and heat wrapped in matching suits. Talking About My Baby was their only taste of fame, but what a flavor it was. Released in mid-1964, it was a perfect blend of smooth vocals, jittery hi-hats, and finger snaps that could slice through the summer air.
Busy signal, now all that I can hear.
It was the kind of track that made you roll your car windows down and cruise a little slower past the corner store. Every word dripped with adoration and a hint of jealousy. A ballad? Maybe. But it had just enough bounce to sneak into teen dance parties and late-night radio shows. And then, nothing. No follow-up hit, no tour. The Lollipops faded into pop culture's back room, but their one song, it's still playing somewhere, in someone's attic, on someone's old mixtape. Stick around. Next is a smoky baritone who disappeared after one unforgettable plea. Number 9, Come Back Baby by Billy Watkins. Billy Watkins sang like he had nothing left to lose, and maybe he didn't. Come Back Baby was his one shot at the spotlight, and it burned with desperation. You could hear every ounce of longing in his gravelly voice. The piano pounded like a broken heart, and the horns wailed like streetlights after midnight. It was raw, real, maybe too real for the charts.
There must be a shorter way to get to your heart. Don't you?
The song cracked a few regional stations but never climbed nationally. Yet, in pockets of the South, people swore Billy's voice saved their relationships or helped them walk away from one. Watkins was a preacher before and after the song, but for one brief flicker in 1964, he let the world hear his heartbreak. Next, a doo-wop flashback wrapped in golden harmonies. Don't blink or you'll miss it. Number 8, I'm the One Who Loves You by Donnie Elbert. Before Donnie Elbert carved out his funkier hits in the 70s, he dropped this silky doo-wop infused R&B gem in 64. I'm the One Who Loves You felt like a letter never sent. Smooth, aching falsetto, doo-wop backups, and lyrics that hit like a love confession whispered through a payphone at midnight. The record got some spin in New York and Philly, but it vanished before it could bloom. Elbert's voice deserved more, and he'd eventually get it. But this early moment, it's a relic from a romantic era when pleading on wax wasn't weakness, it was power. Coming up, a party starter that lit up summer dances and then vanished like a firework. Number 7, Shimmy Like My Sister Kate by The Olympics. The Olympics had hits before, sure, but Shimmy Like My Sister Kate from '64 was a one-hit wonder in its own right, a funky little floor filler that never quite matched their earlier success, but man, was it fun.
Yes, I can do it now. Shimmy, shimmy.
The horns were wild, the beat unrelenting, and the lyrics just silly enough to make it cool. It was a time when dance crazes defined summer. Everyone had a shimmy or a shake, and this one caught fire. Briefly, then it got lost in the shuffle. Still, you know someone who played it over and over at a house party, practicing the moves in the mirror. It was fast, flirty, and unforgettable for a moment. Up next, a soulful serenade from a voice that vanished too soon. Number 6, I'll Never Let You Go by Jackie Day. Jackie Day was a storm in a teacup. Her only charting song, I'll Never Let You Go, was soaked in emotion. Her voice trembled, not from weakness, but from holding back a flood. This was soul in its purest form. No tricks, no polish, just feeling.
I'll drown in my sorrow.
It played like a lullaby for grown-ups. Every note felt like it belonged in the final scene of a black and white movie. Rain hitting the glass as the credits roll. She had the goods, but the business moved on. Maybe she was too subtle for the moment. Maybe the stars just didn't align. But once you hear that song, it's tattooed on your memory. Get ready. Next is a groove so funky it still makes feet move. Number 5, Soul Kind of Love by The Presidents. Long before any political group took the name, The Presidents delivered one of 1964's most underrated slow burns. Soul Kind of Love had a bass line that slid across the floor like velvet and vocals that wrapped around your shoulders like an old friend's hug. It wasn't flashy, it didn't top charts, but in those moments it played, it owned you. A song built for slow dances and slow goodbyes. It never blew up, and the group never followed up. But that groove, it keeps showing up on crate digger blogs, in Tarantino-inspired playlists, in your dad's dusty box. Coming up, a teenage duo who recorded one perfect song and disappeared. Number 4, Angel Baby by Rosie and the Originals. Okay, this one technically dropped in late '60, but in 1964 it saw a sudden revival on late-night R&B stations and teen romance mixtapes. Rosie was 15, her voice was pure vulnerability. Angel Baby didn't sound like anything else.
When you are near me, my heart skips a
It felt like sneaking out of the house, holding someone's hand for the first time. and knowing you'd remember that night forever. There were no layers, no big studio tricks, just Rosie, some dreamy keys, and lyrics that came straight from her diary. It recharted briefly that year and then faded again, but to those who clung to it, it never left. The next track comes with horns, heartbreak, and one unforgettable chorus. Number 3, Lonely Drifter by Pieces of Soul. Lonely Drifter was exactly what it sounded like, a wandering, echo-filled tune that floated like cigarette smoke through a late-night diner. The Pieces of Soul, an Ohio-based band with no full album, captured the ache of being almost seen, almost loved. There's a haunting sax solo 2/3 in that still makes your chest tighten. The kind of song that didn't need a chart position, it just needed one good listen to stick with you for life. They vanished after the release, but this track is a ghost you'll be glad still haunts you. Next, a dance floor anthem that turned awkward teens into smooth operators for 3 glorious minutes. Number 2, Dance Girl Dance by Little Joey and the Flips. This one had hips swaying from Detroit to Dallas. Dance Girl Dance was pure kinetic joy. You didn't think about it, you just moved. With a jangly guitar, a crisp snare, and Joey's smooth vocals leading the way.
Staring in a trance, go on and dance.
This was the song that played at sock hops, school dances, and every cousin's basement party. But radio gave it a cold shoulder. It bubbled under the surface, never quite cracking the big markets. Little Joey and the Flips tried to recapture the magic, but lightning, as they say, rarely strikes twice. Still, when that beat drops, you already know. You remember. Before we reveal number 1, let's take a pause, feeling the rhythm of the past. If this countdown sparked a memory, a smile, or a song you haven't heard in years, go ahead and like, subscribe, and drop your favorite forgotten R&B hit in the comments. Let's keep the music alive together. Number 1, I Wake Up Crying by Chuck Jackson. You knew this was coming. I Wake Up Crying is the ultimate one-hit heartbreaker. Chuck Jackson put everything into that one recording. The ache, the confusion, the sleepless nights, and the title says it all. Who hasn't lived those words at least once? The orchestration was elegant, yet raw.
I wake up crying.
The background vocals whispered like secrets. Chuck's delivery, perfection. It charted modestly, but its emotional impact, that was colossal. It didn't need a number 1 spot to pierce your heart. It was number 1 for anyone who ever fell too deep, too fast. And then, just like that, Chuck faded from the charts, but not from us. These 12 songs were fleeting, but they were fireflies in the dark, short, shining, unforgettable. One-hit wonders? Maybe, but they hit the soul like a lifelong favorite. Next time, we're diving into 12 forgotten one-hit R&B wonders from 1961. You won't want to miss it. And here's your fortune cookie ending. The song may be forgotten, but the feeling never fades.